I have purchased a new stock. It is time. I have done my due diligence. I have done a decent amount of analysis, and I hope to be doing a lot more analysis. But it's time to announce on this channel the newest stock that I have purchased, because this is a stocks and investment channel, and when I make new decisions on my portfolio, I like to share them. I like to share the coverage I'm doing about them. I like to share the reasoning and logic behind it. And I also like to get your thoughts, your opinions as people who watch the channel and people who care about the channel around what I am doing from an investment perspective. New stock is indeed SOFI. So some of you guys might have saw this coming. I did an interview about a week ago with Tanner Manson from the Future Investing channel, and basically I asked him about SOFI. I've been eyeing SOFI for a long time. I've been getting so many messages on Twitter, probably since like January of this year, of, hey Amit, what do you think about SOFI? Hey, when are you gonna buy SOFI? When are you gonna buy this? There's so many people I know that love this stock. And I was really against it for a while, primarily because I didn't care enough to look into it, which has changed given the valuation. I'll get more into that. And I also saw them as like a lending company and financial services. And I'm like, they're just a bank. Like, how innovative is a bank? Why should I care about a bank? All this stuff. I have since forth done a lot more research, changed my mind, and I'm going to be doing more videos in the future. And please comment below if you would like more videos in the future about the stock, because I think there's an opportunity here. I think there's a really strong opportunity here, and I'm getting more excited about the opportunity. And that's why I've initiated my position. So you'll see here there is a $1,000 position so far, very, very small amount. I think at this valuation, and I'll talk more about that, it's a decent starting point. I would like this to get to be a $10,000 position, hopefully within the next 5, 6, 7 months, but we're going to see when it happens. The goal right now is that $1,000, and we'll see how much more we can add. I do not think the market is done with the pain, so I think, you know, this 1,000, it's probably going to go down a little bit, but at this point I'm just DCAing, and you know, we'll make more investments into SOFI as we see the time coming. Now, 3-part reasoning for why I made this decision, and I'm going to walk you all through it, and in the future I'll go deeper into this stuff, but this is my 3-part reasoning in a nutshell to get a macro level overview for what I think the opportunity is with SOFI. Number 1, first and foremost, is their leadership. Anthony Noto. I've been doing a lot of research on this guy. Obviously, I'm a big Palantir investor. I care very deeply about leadership. Peter Thiel, Alex Karp, these are 2 guys that I believe can actually take Palantir to the promised land. It is going to be incredibly difficult for them to do this, but I am trusting them with my capital because I believe those guys can do it. If you're investing in a company, especially sort of a founder-led company, or even not a founder, but a pseudo-visionary, you want to bet on the person that's actually in charge. Anthony Noto is someone who I'll be talking more about in the future, but this guy was the CFO for the NFL. He worked his way up to become the COO of Twitter, and his story, the way he manages, the way he operates, the way he understands leadership, it's nothing short of excellence to me, and it has become a major reason why I think that taking a bet, especially at this valuation on SOFI, is not something to necessarily be scared of. I think Noto understands what he's doing. I think he has a vision for how the financial services industry is going to consolidate, and where technology in particular is going to play a role in the fintech space. And it seems obvious that this guy understands what he's doing. It's obviously a question of execution, but it's not a question of leadership to me. So Anthony Noto is one guy. Obviously more videos in the future will be coming about him, but he's one of the main reasons I invested. Number 2, AWS of Fintech. I know people have heard this many, many times. People have said this term. What does this mean? Palantir says we want to be what AWS was last year, this decade, for developers, which essentially means they want to be an operating system, a platform that people build on top of. That is exactly what SOFI is doing in the context of fintech. Now, they had an acquisition of Galileo and Technesis. I've heard it called a Technesis or Technesis. I don't know exactly how to call it, but they made 2 acquisitions. Technesis was very recently, and Galileo was a little bit back. And what these 2 acquisitions have positioned them to be able to do is essentially build out an infrastructure that allows new fintech companies to use their APIs, their application programming interfaces, to be able to build payment processes and ecosystems that are not easy to be able to build on top of their platform, on top of what they're offering. Simple example, and this is how it was explained to me by an interview with a person I did that's going to be dropping in a little bit, which is, what is AWS for startups? I have a startup right now. We are an audio sharing platform, so people post their audio content on our startup, and we do hopefully a decent job with our algorithms to be able to recommend it in a meaningful way to improve audio discovery. We need content to be able to be on the platform, stored in the platform, and be able to be saved on the platform, right? So you need a database, you need an infrastructure, you need a cloud, you need compute to be able to do that. That's what AWS does. Every time you watch a piece of content on Netflix, AWS makes money because Netflix runs their entire operating system or their entire content library on top of the data compute storage that AWS provides. That makes AWS a really attractive business. They did like $62 billion in revenue last year. That's insane because almost every company and organization and government in the world uses their backend infrastructure to be able to build their companies on top of, because they need storage. In the past, you needed to have like multiple servers that were physical. Now it's all in the cloud thanks to AWS. If AWS was able to do that for compute, if SoFi could do even 1/10 of what AWS has been able to do for the financial technology services sector, meaning all these new companies that are creating fintech startups or being able to build new versions of banks or just all these different unique offerings in the context of financial technology, and they're able to use SoFi's Galileo, as simple as I and my co-founder were able to build a content sharing startup on AWS and pay like pennies to be able to get that set up. That is very bullish to me. That is very interesting to me. I love platform-based technologies. I love platform-based applications. And if I can see more and more companies in the future say, hey, it's not that it's easy to start a content sharing startup because you just plug it into AWS, people post content, boom, you're ready to go. The content's there, people can watch it, consume it, listen, whatever. To start a fintech startup, there are so many regulations, so many hurdles. Just even getting access to be able to attach to people's banks is so complicated. If Galileo can stream all that, and they can do what AWS has done for the broader market, just for the fintech space, and every time someone makes a payment off of a platform that is using Galileo and SoFi gets paid, which is what is happening right now, that's an incredible bull case. That is an exciting bull case to me. So that right there, and I'll go deeper into that into future videos, but that right there is another macro level sort of thesis I have behind it that makes it attractive to me and exciting to just be able to take a bet on a platform like that. Okay, third reason. Simple enough. This is the kind of the easiest reason why I invested is the valuation. So SoFi, I believe their all time was at like 25, 30, something around that range. It's a $5 billion market cap company right now. It's valued at $6, got I think below 6 at one point. At this point, to me, I'm looking at, can I get a 3x? Or can I even get a 2x? Can I get SoFi from $6 to $12? Is that possible? And I'm just like, well, when the bull market gets back, when the macro gets better, when when interest rates start going back lower, when inflation goes away, when more and more fintech startups are starting to be able to use Galileo, when student loans have to start over again, when there's more members growing into SoFi's database, growing into SoFi's suite of services, and there's a lot of members already, I think they're growing like 250% year over year. Do I see the stock going from 6 to 12? That's a simple question that I had to ask myself. And the answer was, yeah, I do. And so if I see an easy double, if not triple, and a double what makes SoFi a $10 billion company versus a $5 billion company. It's like, I bought Palantir pretty expensive, 19, 20, $22, even at 26, I bought it at one point. Now it's at 7. If I can get it at SoFi at 6, I mean, like, this is a company that I didn't buy at 14, 15, 16 like a lot of people did. This is a company that I'm buying incredibly cheap and undervalued in my opinion. Now, could it go lower? Could things get... Yes, there's obviously, none of this is financial advice. There could be more that happens. But I'm looking at this company, I'm looking at the valuation, I'm looking at the potential, and I'm thinking, is there somewhat of an asymmetrical bet here at $6, $7 to be able to double? And could I DCA down to get an average of 530, 540, and then when things get better, could I put 10 grand and turn that into 20 grand? I think that's possible. And so when you take the leadership, when you take their bull case of AWS of Fintech, which may take a decade to play out, but along that decade, I believe there's going to be growth. And when you take the valuation at this level, I think this is an opportunity. And, obviously I want to go deeper into the company. Please let me know if you would like more videos and more thoughts about what I'm thinking about the company. But it seems to make sense to me. It's one of those stocks I've been thinking about for a very long time. There's a lot of people I know that also hold it. Sean from Invest to Live, I'm going to be talking more about his position in SoFi. It seems obvious to me. That is what I've done. That is the first new stock I've bought in a while. Very small position. We'll be adding to it over time, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited to start making more content and learn and talk to more people that are interested in the stock, because I think the stock has a decent amount of potential. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And do you own SoFi? Do you not own SoFi? Are you interested in initiating a position? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.